Hello to you from a freezing cold Washington, where Donald Trump has been sworn in for a second term as the 47th President of the United States. In his inaugural address, he promised to put America first and said he'd immediately start signing orders to prevent illegal migration, encourage oil exploitation and scrap government diversity programs, moves that will delight the millions of people who voted for him and send shockwaves right around the world. Well, we're going to take a look at some of the key measures he announced on this day one of his presidency and assess what impact they might have. But first, here's Sarah Smith on how this historic day has unfolded so far.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
For Donald John Trump, this is not just a solemn oath of office. For him, this is vindication, and it's victory.
Welcome home.
Welcome home, Joe Biden said, as he greeted the Trumps earlier at the White House, as it is their house now, again. There was none of this courtesy the last time when Donald Trump snubbed the Bidens and skipped town. Both men then entered the beast, the armoured presidential car, riding together, however uncomfortably, on their way to officially transfer power from one to the other. Inside the Capitol, former presidents did turn up by tradition, but his wife couldn't face it.
Present arms!
Former First Lady Hillary Clinton put on a brave face. She's the candidate Mr. Trump defeated in 2016.
The Honorable Joseph R. Biden Jr.
Joe Biden says he thinks he could have beaten him last year if he hadn't let Kamala Harris run instead and lose. And what is the collective noun for a gathering of the world's richest men? All the tech billionaires who turned up to offer enthusiastic support. Gathered inside the Capitol Rotunda that was invaded by violent Trump supporters on the 6th of January 2021. For him, it's been a long journey back to the centre of power, overcoming criminal indictments, 1 conviction and 2 assassination attempts to perform the ultimate political comeback. After all that, he was then defeated by his wife's hat, before promising to start a new era in America.
The golden age of America begins right now.
Making big promises about transforming the country.
A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world. And America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before.
He attacked what he claimed was a corrupt and incompetent government under Joe Biden and revelled in his own triumph.
Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history, and I've learned a lot along the way. The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life. Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
The promises he made on the campaign trail now being repeated in a sombre presidential tone, beginning with his signature issue.
First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
He got a standing ovation for the promise of a harsh crackdown on immigration.
We will drill, baby, drill.
He will also declare a national energy emergency to allow for more drilling for oil and reverse Joe Biden's climate change measures. He'll introduce tariffs on imported goods, declare there are only 2 sexes, which cannot change, and get rid of diversity initiatives. And then he wants to reach for the stars.
And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the planet Mars.
It may have been with considerable relief that the Bidens then took off and left Washington behind them. Tens of thousands of Trump supporters have flooded into the Capitol, the lucky ones getting to view the action from inside a sports arena. Watching Elon Musk take to the stage, he's given himself the title of First Buddy. But he really needs to curb his enthusiasm. He's being accused of giving a Nazi salute.
Thank you.
And that's even by users on his own social media platform, X. As Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump chooses to use a more traditional salute as he formally inspects the troops. After all this ceremony, it will soon be time to get down to work. He's made a lot of big promises about transforming America and changing the world. Now he has to deliver.
Sarah, let's actually begin with the man who's just left the building across the way there, Joe Biden, issuing a number of pardons for his own family. How much of a surprise shock was that?
Yeah, this was a real surprise because it's an extremely unusual thing to do, to issue preemptive pardons. So he says, as far as he knows, they haven't done anything wrong, but he's worried that the Trump administration are going to try and investigate, possibly prosecute members of his family. So he's pardoning them in advance just in case that happens. And he did the same for some people who were in the last Trump administration and everybody who was involved in the select committee that investigated the January the 6th riots. All got these preemptive pardons.
Okay. Let's go back to the man now who has taken over the keys for the White House. A slew of policy initiatives, tough rhetoric as well, delighting his supporters.
Yes, absolutely. And very soon he'll arrive at that sports arena and speak to them in person. They've been waiting all day for that to happen. And we expect that whilst he's there, he will start signing some presidential executive orders to make happen the things he promised in his speech, including if he declares a national emergency on the border, he can then send military troops to the border, which will make a real difference. And he can probably, at the stroke of a pen, withdraw from the Paris Climate Accords as well, which he's promised to do.
All right. Sarah Smith, our North America editor, thank you for that. We're going to go straight to Gary O'Donoghue, who's inside